Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda. I decided to do this game because I've always wanted to Let's Play it, and well, I know hundreds and hundreds and not thousands of people have Let's Played this game before, but believe me, I'm going to do something a little different. But first, let's watch the introduction, shall we? Like the game has some sort of a brief introduction there, but anyways, time to begin. This was the first game, as far as I'm aware, that actually had a battery backup, so it would save your progress along the way. The battery in the back, I think there was a message that said it would last about 5 years, but I've heard reports of the batteries lasting like 10 years, and it's kind of interesting, I think. Instead of a little bit of planned obsolescence like most technology these days. Also, it's time to go into the first cave. A little interesting tidbit is that if you were to go up a screen or over east or west a screen, you'll actually come across enemies, and you'll have no way of defeating them, so it's kind of cluing you in that you need to go in this cave. I like how they eliminated the language barrier a lot by giving you subtle hints like that. Of course, there still are messages, and some of them are a little English, you know, but that's okay. The first part of this video, I'm actually going to go grind for rupees a little bit, and I'm going to do that on screen for now. Later I may cut out some of that, but who knows. I always thought the names of the enemies are rather odd, like these Tektites, for example. I don't know where they came up with the name, but, you know. Sounds kind of like a geologic formation, I guess, you know. Gotta find all the Tektites in the cave next to the stalagmites. And the levers, which is pronounced the same way as the word lever, but with an extra letter. You can say lever or lever if you're talking about, well, a lever. I think either pronunciation's okay. Definitely want that rupee. Even if it's on the other side of the screen, we don't have an object that will enable us to get it on the other side of the screen yet. By the way, I've already played through the entire first quest, so I'm basically chopping this up and doing commentary day by day. The second quest I haven't recorded just yet, though. I may change it up just a little bit. I'm not sure. Mind you, there are a few items in the first quest that I didn't really use that much. The first quest is rather easy, and the challenge in the first quest, what I tried to do is that I'm gonna do the dungeons out of order. Let's just put it that way, and I'll show you why. At this point, I was hoping to get some bombs from some of the blue Octoroks, but I didn't just yet. So I'm just gonna waste 20 rupees and get them. I know. But it's just 20 rupees. 20 rupees is easy to come by in this world. Money's almost free. You know, you just have to spend time to get it. Also, the bombs are very important because it enables me to get a few extra secrets. I'm not gonna have the wooden sword for long. Let's just put it that way. We definitely want the one on the right. I don't think you'll want the magic potion instead of a heart container. Unless you're masochistic, but for right now the heart container is very useful. You can actually get enough heart containers to not have to deal with the wooden sword at all for the first the wooden sword at all for the first dungeon. So, kind of fun. I think I was about to say something about the wooden dungeon. I don't know. I like how the money in this game is something that is culturally agnostic. I mean, gems and jewels are usually valued in most cultures. It's not like, you know, dollar bills and yen were just dropped around, you know. Even coins, I guess, like in the Super Mario Brothers. But coins in Super Mario Brothers are used for something different, not to buy anything. So, don't forget there's a secret here. Well, it was a secret to everybody. I always thought that wording was rather strange. You know. But anyway. We're almost to the point where we can get the blue candle. We don't have enough for it yet. But we'll get there. I'm not worried about getting hit that much. Well, at least for now. Now in the dungeons, the tougher dungeons, I'll definitely worry about getting hit. There's some pea-hats over there, but don't worry about them. Pea-hats are very good for hearts and fairies, but unfortunately you don't find pea-hats in dungeons, so... And I like that there's dungeon enemies and there are overworld enemies as well. By the way, this is going to be empty. The old woman, well, she's not going to offer up anything right now. And I'm not going to use the magic potions at all in the first quest. I might in the second quest just for, just to be prepared, but I'm not really sure about that. Now that we have enough money for the blue candle, we can go get the blue candle. I know that sounded redundant, but that's what it is. You know. At this point, I'm actually going to go get a little bit extra money, and I'm going to get one more heart container before we run for another item. Our wooden sword is getting a little tiresome. Also, if it seems like I get lost, I'm doing most of this from memory in this Let's Play. Now, I did have to pull out the map a couple of times just to make sure that my route was okay, but that's alright. I'm not going to get all of these areas that have money. I mean, you can look them up on the internet if you want. There are detailed guides and maps of this game everywhere, you know. I bet you thought I was going to get the potion that time, right? Now that we have 5 hearts, we can go and get a better item, a better sword. And, I've seen some people go into the first dungeon with a wooden sword, but honestly, I don't see any reason to, because it just wastes time, you know. Now, there are wooden sword quests for this game. And that does, I mean, that's possible. It just takes a little bit of time. I might as well get this. It was on the way. I always thought those boulders looked kind of funny to me. Just kind of funny looking. And by the way, here's a, kind of an interesting thing there. Don't worry about that. I'll show you most of the secrets in the game anyway. Or at least the ones worth knowing. here we've got a blue Laurel. Sorry, blue Lionel. Thinking of another game, Castlevania with the Laurels. But the Lionel, you can just get him out of the way there. And that's what I recommend. And I like how they give you that blue Lionel there. You can defeat him one way with the wooden sword and say, gee, this is taking forever. And then you can go back with a white sword and realize, oh, it's not that bad at all. But the blue Lionel will seriously hurt you. And you may be wondering why we're going up this way. Well, you'll see. The whistle is going to be very useful, so I'm going to go ahead and get it. This is going to be the first dungeon item I get. And you may be wondering, why in the hell am I going to get the whistle with only 5 hearts and a white sword? And no other items? Because I can. Why not? Fortunately, the whistle is actually pretty early in this dungeon. And yes, you can defeat the Pole's voices with the white sword. Just takes a little bit of time. There's a good pattern with the Pole's voices. And sometimes when an enemy flashes, they're invincible, so you can actually pass through it, but it's very brief. And there's a key. I made that look a lot easier than it really is, trust me. But that's okay. We do need at least one key. And this is why we got the blue candle. You don't have to, but I wanted to at least show you what the room looks like. You can actually get the key from the Gibdo if you come at it from an angle and not get hit, but it's very difficult to do. I've only done it like once or twice. We got plenty of Gibdos here, but they're slow, and they have a good they have a good kickback. In other words, if you hit them, they'll move back a bit. See, I grabbed the bombs there from the Gibdo. And thank you, game, for giving me the stopwatch at the last enemy when it was completely useless, you know. Now, this is going to take a little bit of practice to do it the way I'm doing it. You can actually get really close to these dark nuts without getting hit. Believe it or not. And the bombs are really useful too. What I'd like to do is just focus on a small group of them and just pay attention to where they're going. Don't get too close like I'm doing. Because what I did was pretty stupid, but I made it out alive. I remember this being one of the most difficult parts of the first quest, trying to get the whistle. And trying to get like full potions and everything, because they had to deal with all these dark nuts, but really there's areas in other dungeons much worse than this. But of course by then in the later dungeons you have a better sword and, you know, the blue ring and all that, and I don't even have the blue ring. I mean, I'm just going into this pretty ballsy, aren't I? You can kind of wait in the door for the dark nuts to come by and come close, but now we're down to 1. And here's the whistle. Now the funny thing about the whistle is if you haven't cleared out any dungeons yet, then on the overworld it's not going to teleport you anywhere. So we still have to walk the long way, but that's alright. Also, that's what it sounds like, you know. We're gonna have to go all the way back to the beginning of the dungeon now. Isn't that wonderful? I'm still not sure what I'm gonna do about the second quest just yet. I'm still gonna do the dungeons out of order, but I'm not sure what order I want to do them in. But it should be interesting enough, I think. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the maps for each of the dungeon and see how far I can make in some of them to get some of the items. But anyways, that wraps up Let's Play Legend of Zelda, so thank you so much and have a good day. Goodbye.